listen to what he has to say. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. We begin by mentioning the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His peace and blessings upon our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So we kind of still have the crowd from 5 o'clock, inshallah, and we still have relatively a younger crowd. So I'm going to customize my speech, inshallah, to accommodate as many of you as possible, bi'idhnillah. So the topic is in regards to gratitude. Gratitude, what do you say gratitude in Arabic or Urdu? Huh? What is it? Someone said it. Hey, say it. Give it a shot. Maybe you're right. Is it as in quiet or shukr? Right? It's shukr, right? Or shukriya, right? You say thank you. Now before we move on and talk about shukr and gratitude, and this is my advice to all of you, whenever we want to talk about a specific topic, gratitude, justice, modesty, truthfulness, it's really important to start with what? Bismillah, excellent. But what else about the topic? What does the word mean first? Yes? Yeah, so when we talk about the definition of the word, what does it really mean? Then we can move on in any topic that you want. Fair enough? Does that make sense? So what does it mean for someone to be grateful? Well, easy question. What does it mean for someone to be grateful? Go for it. Go for it. They appreciate whatever they have. Okay, so they appreciate what they have. Fantastic. Any other definitions? Okay. To appreciate what you have. So let's say, for example, who did the design of this poster? Are they here? This is an example, okay? So don't take it personal, okay? So let's say, how am I grateful for this poster? How am I grateful? I appreciate the time that was done, right? So internal. Remember, there's 3 pillars to gratitude. You take one of the 3 out, you're not a grateful person. Well, that's a very firm statement to say. Yes, very firm. 3 things you have to check for you to be considered what? Grateful. Ready? Number 1, internal. You have to feel that you've been blessed. You don't take things for granted, right? You appreciate things. Wonderful. Is that enough? That's one of the 3. First one was internal. Number 2, you have to verbal. You have to verbalize it. So you internalize, you feel it in the heart. Is that enough? No, you have to say it. You say thank you, right? You say jazakumullahu khairan. Yes? You say to Allah, alhamdulillah. Fantastic. So number 1, internal, you feel you're blessed. Number 2, you put it in your tongue and you verbalize it. Is that enough? Is that enough? What's next? What's the last one? Go ahead. Acting upon it. Right? So let's pick on the ones who are married like myself. Let's say an example. Don't take it personal. Brother, you tell your wife, I love you. She tells you you're a liar. It's like, oh. I just said, I love you. You said, I'm a liar. Yes, you're a liar. Why? She says, because I cannot, what? See it. Oh, okay, I'll text you. No, what does she mean? She does not see it in your actions, right? You tell me I love you now, but yesterday you embarrassed me in front of my family. Yes? Today you tell me I love you, and yesterday you cursed at me. So real gratitude, real love is internal, verbal, and physical. Does that make sense now? So if this is a true story, okay? There's a brother. This is not being recorded, right? Because he might watch it. Because I don't want. So there's a brother wasn't smelling very good at work, Muslim brother. So I work in an engineering firm, and I was a little bit shy to tell him about cologne and do something, deodorant, something, anything, oil. Just do something, whatever. Smells really bad. So I bought him cologne. I remember it was Hugo Boss. So I said, you know, just as a gift from me to you, here we go. He's like, oh, jazakallah khair. So he says, thank you verbally. And I don't know about his intention. I came 1 week later. The thing was still at his desk. wrapped. So it's not really a big thank you, right? So the best way to thank someone for that cologne is for him to do what? Put it on, right? Spray it. Okay, children, I have to ask you a question. Can I use it as an example? It's okay? All right. What was the last gift or something your dad gave you? The most recent thing? Food, gift, anything. Okay, that t-shirt. Okay, let's say, was it? Your mom, so I'm not Baba. Baba didn't, right? I just want to let you know it was Baba who paid for it. But anyways, okay. Well, Allahu Alam, maybe your mom paid for it. So let's say this shirt, your mom bought it for you, right? Do you appreciate it? Did you tell her thank you? But you know what's the best way to thank your mom for the t-shirt? To put it on, and when you want to take it off, you fold it nicely, you put it back in the closet, right? It's dirty, you put it in that basket, correct? So the worst way to say thank you to mom is when she gives us that shirt and we're like, whatever, we throw it on the couch. It's not thank you, right? So you put it into action. There's something to keep in mind, and this is the definition. Anytime you bring a topic like that, truthfulness, gratitude, justice, whatever you want to talk about, definition. Make sense? Right. Now, when we talk about internal, that's how I start, then verbal, then physical, and we end, inshallah. How do we make ourselves really appreciate something? Now, that is the most difficult part. Verbalizing is easy. Putting it in action is actually not that difficult. You know what's the most important part is feeling that you're blessed. So what do we do to feel that we're blessed? Let's choose a blessing first. What's the blessing you want to choose? Parents? Let's use that as a blessing. So not a single one here except that you have parents, right? Not a single one. So how do you feel grateful internally? You appreciate that Allah blessed you with these parents that you have. How? Thank Allah. Okay, that's verbal. Excellent. But how do you internally feel like, I am blessed? How? Wonderful. Make dua to Allah to make you grateful. That's a very smart way, right? Ya Allah, make me grateful. But how do you have your heart to be alive and feel grateful that you have parents? So this is smart, mashallah, may Allah protect you. You see the ones that don't have parents around, right? You see the people that don't even know whom their mother is, don't even know who their father is. And you're like, alhamdulillah, I got parents. Yes? What else? Use what Allah told you to do. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. Allah gave you the formula. Don't be too, you can be creative, but this is something at least keep in mind. Allah says, remember the good your parents did to you. And the ayah, remember what Allah did to you, but also use that, what good did my parents do to me? As an example for you to be grateful. Number one, remember, obviously you don't remember, but you have to imagine and appreciate, and you read and you learn how your mom was carrying you for 9 months, yes or no? There were days that she did not sleep, yes or no? There were days which she threw up, yes or no? There were days that she didn't eat because of you, yes or no? There were days that she was crying because when you were in here, you kicked her so hard that she started crying, yes or no? We've seen it, yes or no? When you see the pain your mom endured and went through to get you to this life, like, Mama, I love you, yes or no? So think of the good your mom did to you, Allahu Akbar. Think that she doesn't, subhanallah. Your mom had a lot of dreams and goals to achieve, but when you popped out and you came, all her goal became one, was to raise you, yes or no? She had all that stuff to, subhanallah. And now think of your father. Parents are like, what about me, the dad? I got you, right? The father who does not, the father wants to drive. You know what your father wants to drive? A 2-door Mercedes Sports. But because he has you, he had to go buy a Toyota Sienna or Odyssey, right? So when you see that, you appreciate that. If it was for your father and he didn't have you, oh, he'll probably have a BMW, Mercedes, all that good stuff, right? Jaguars. But now, subhanAllah, because of having, these are all examples, not 100% accurate for your lifestyle, of course. But I'm giving you these examples so you can make your own examples. Does that make sense to you? So when you start remembering the good your parents did to you, you can't help but like them more and appreciate them more. SubhanAllah. Your father, for example, does not want this job. He likes another job, but pays him less money. But for you to be able to go to that Islamic school or to have that tuition, he takes overtime, yes or no, works on weekends, yes or no, just to be able to pay for your school. Baba, thank you. That's when the thank you comes from the heart. When you think of the good they've done to you, yes or no? So you start practicing that. Now let's now talk about not parents. Let's now talk about spouse. Who here is married? Please raise your hand. Who here is married? Okay, brothers, not one of you. Okay, just are you like still working on? Oh, okay, I'm just engaged. Okay. So when it comes to tell you something about marriage and about gratitude. Some people now, when I talk about gratitude within husband-wife, some people they log out. Khalas, I'm not paying attention. Why? I'm divorced, or I'm not married, or I'm still too young. No. Pay attention now, so you don't do the mistake that your dad is doing, okay, or your mom is doing. Fair enough. So learn from now. Wallahi, I remember in my community, a brother and a sister, they just got their first baby. So the brother goes to the imam. He says, "Ya Imam, we just got our first child. I want to learn from today how to raise my child upon the Quran and Sunnah, upon the truth." You know what the Imam told him? "You're late." He's like, "Sheikh, maybe misunderstood. My wife just delivered the baby like this week." He's like, "I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling you, you're late. I'm late to raise my child upon the truth, like the deen and how the best etiquette." "Yeah, you're late." "How?" He's like, "You start raising your children upon the truth by choosing the right spouse first." Allahu Akbar. You guys with me? So you start raising your children before even getting married by choosing the right spouse. That's why, when people like some of the opposite gender, not the best of people, one of the questions to wake them up that this is not the right person, one of the ways is to ask them, "Do you see that person as the parent of your children?" They'll go, "Of course not." Jazakallah khair. Right? Jazakallah khair. I'm done, thank you. So many times this may work. Wallah, she's this and she's that. Like, do you see her as a mother to your children? A'udhu billah. Okay, then why are you doing what you're doing? Right? Then you tell sister, that brother, yes, he's this and he's that, but do you see him as a father of your children? Like, a'udhu billah. So it's just something to keep in mind. So the point being is that when it comes to gratitude to spouses, I will give examples. It might apply to some of you, may not apply to some of you. But what do you learn? The technique, right? The method. That's the key of the whole talk. Is you remember the good your spouse did to you. So who do we choose now? Husband or wife first? What do you guys want? Him first, right? No, you first, right? Anyhow, we'll talk about both. So we talk to the brothers, we give examples to remember the good your spouse has done to you. So for those who can share examples, what good has our wives done to us? Or tell me what something good, actually if your father approves, like, actually no, I was going to tell you what good the mom does to the father, but I'm saying spouses. What good a wife does to her husband, as an example. Bunch of ungrateful men. Nothing, brother, nothing. The wrong crowd, brother, right? Huh? Cook dinner, right? So that's applicable to most married people here, to most people. It's not always applicable, but to most people the example is food, right? She's the one who cooks, subhanAllah. Are you grateful for that? We should be very grateful. Alhamdulillah. You appreciate the fact that she spends 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in front of the oven, yes or no? The heat of the oven, yes or no? And she ends up smelling the food that you're eating, yes or no? And she's struggling and she's sweating, yes or no? And turning on the fan. So when you come home, you don't just eat, but you try not to smell all the cooking that was happening behind the background. Allahu Akbar. All the struggle that she goes through. Wallahi, one time, may Allah forgive us, I tried to do the dishes. Okay, I have an agreement with my wife, and we're working out so far. I tried washing the dishes. I was sweating because of the heat of the water. Right? I'm like, how does she do it every single day, 2-3 times a day? Yes or no? Unbelievable. You go wash dishes and be like, La ilaha illallah. And you go to your wife and like, you are the real MVP. Really, it's amazing. You think of all the good that she's done to you, like, yeah, brother, but she has really bad qualities too. Oh, okay, the brother says, because my mom is used to it. So you're not used to it, so that's why it's difficult on you. That's a good point. That's a good point, mashallah. That's a good point. May Allah protect you. Say ameen. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, La yafrak mu'minun mu'mina. A believing man should not hate a believing woman, like his wife. He says, "In kariha minha khuluqa." If there's one thing you do not like about your wife, I don't know, whatever it is you don't like about your wife, she's not very patient or not very neat, doesn't cook very good, doesn't clean, whatever that complaint you have, your Prophet told you, if there's one bad thing you don't like about your wife, think of one good thing you like about your wife. That's why he told you, rate you 1 to 1. In kariha minha khuluqa radiya minha akhar. That's what your Prophet told you. Yes, she's not perfect, but so are you, brother. Right? Brother, we look at the fitnas outside with the ladies, yani, and I go home and then you can't even compare. A'udhu billah. Ya akhi, brother, look at yourself too. And you look at your body, brother. Like you make me feel like you're, mashallah, Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what I mean? You also are not, mashallah, that yani, body is, mashallah, physique and all that good stuff. Then now you complain about your wife not being like that. Yes or no? Doesn't make sense. Wallah, my wife doesn't prepare herself for me. But you too don't prepare yourself for your wife. You keep wearing that relief t-shirt that you got in the fundraiser dinner every time at home. Every day, Ikna relief, walking in the house, right? Helping hand. That's what you wear at home. Outside the home, the suit and the tie and mashallah. So give him the right as well. I guess with me. So think of the good the wife has done to us, and then you're like, alhamdulillah. You're like, subhanallah, look at my wife. Yeah, she got these stretch marks because of the child she delivered for, yes or no? Her body is no longer the way it used to be because the child she bared for, yes or no? So we have to show gratitude to that. She is the one who used to wake up at night way more than the husband. Yes, sir. To most homes, that's how it is. The mother wakes up. You know, this is a true story, but the brother misunderstood the point here, but I'll explain. They got a baby. The baby's crying at nighttime. The husband wakes up the wife like, hey, go check the baby. Then she wakes up and is like, okay, I'll check the baby. Then she gets up, goes to the baby's room, and then she's like, whatever she says. Okay, then the baby sleeps. Then she goes back to the bedroom. Husband is there. Okay, then she comes. Then she sleeps. Same night, baby cries again. The husband's like, go check the baby. He's like, oh, okay, I'll go check the baby. The mother stands up again, goes to the baby. Whatever she does, all right? Then she goes back again. She sleeps. Same night, baby cries. Third time. Hey, go check the baby. She's like, why you keep telling me check the baby? You're the father too. He said, yes, but the Prophet says your mother, then your mother, then your mother, then your father. You go 3 times, yeah. All right? He misunderstood. He misunderstood. This is in terms of honoring and respect, right? This is now the brother's like, yes, Allahu Akbar, right? But in essence, this means in Islam, we show support, we show that love. We have that love 3 times more to the mother than the father. The example I give is this. The mother has 1 box of pizza, your dad has 1 box of pizza. Which box do you carry to help? Let's say you can carry only 1. Mom. What if dad has 2 boxes of pizza and your mom has 1? Mom's box of pizza. What if your dad has 3 boxes of pizza and your mom has 1? Mom's box of pizza. If your dad has now 4 boxes, okay, Baba, let me go Baba first, right? You have 4 boxes now, right? So the point is that you show the respect, you show the love, you show the mercy 3 times more to the mom than the dad, and that's what we try to raise our kids. You go ask my children, inshallah, you tell them, who do you love more? We love mom more. That's the right answer, right? And inshallah, we have the good relationship with the mom, then inshallah, we have a good relationship with the father as well, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So think of the good your wife has done to you. It will make you grateful. Then you have to verbalize it, yes or no? Same thing with the wives. We picked a lot on the brothers and with the sisters as well. Look what your husband's going through. We give the example of him working overtime, the commute in New York. May Allah be with you guys. Some of you, right? Some of you are like working here. You're good. But the ones that go to the city, yes? How long does it take? 2 hours, I think, right? Roughly. If I go Google Maps, 2 hours one way, right? This is jihad. You combine your salah and you come back. Yes or no? That's how far it is sometimes. May Allah protect us. Just get the fatwa from your shaykh here. May Allah protect your imam. Say ameen. May Allah bless him. So the point being, all the struggle that he goes through is to give you a living. Yes, you could have settled for minimum wage. And you could have survived, but you just do it for the family. Think of the husband, of all the effort that he's putting, dealing with his boss, he works from the morning, comes back home, all that stuff, and tries to teach the kids. And appreciate that. Now here you go, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, look what he says to the sisters. We had one hadith for the brothers, this one is for you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Inna Allah la yanzuru li imra'a." Allah will not show mercy to a woman لا تشكر لزوجها وهي لا تستغني عنه, that does not show gratitude to her husband when she cannot live without him. That woman, Allah will not show her mercy. That's what Rasulullah said. Because as a wife, you have to show gratitude to your husband for all the work that he did. Now, some women, they kind of, or men as well, they took the last part and she cannot live without him. So that means I should be independent and not depend on my husband. No, that's not the point. Are you guys with me? It's not the point. Because even if a woman works or a man works, we both need each other. Yes or no? No matter how rich we are, right? You always need your wife, you always need your husband, etc. So Rasulullah says that you appreciate that, and because gratitude is the key ingredient for a successful marriage. Key ingredient. There's a study out of Washington. Shows you, this is a study that shows, I read it personally, or heard about it. It says, when a spouse shows 5 moments of appreciation for every 1 negative encounter. So 1 negative encounter, you and your spouse, you think of 5 good things, your chances of having a successful marriage goes up to 90%. This is unbelievable. Gratitude is key for successful marriage. You know the authentic hadith of Rasulullah sallam when he spoke about Ibrahim alayhi salam? Remember that? Ibrahim comes to Mecca, knocks on the door of his son's house. What's his son's name? Ismail, remember? Then who opened the door? The wife. She did not know that's her father-in-law. Forget father-in-law. She did not know it's Rasulullah, Ibrahim alayhi salam, yes? And then Ibrahim alayhi salam said, is Ismail here? He didn't say he's my son. Is Ismail here? She said, no, he's not here. He went to work. He said, how is everything? He said, A'udhu billah, horrible. He's a stranger to her. She's like, life is horrible. We have the worst food. He works all day and all night. He barely makes a living. Hardly eat any meat. No food, no drink. The guy works all day, all night. Life is horrible. Ibrahim says, listen, when Ismail comes back, tell him to change the doorstep. What? Tell him to change the doorstep. He's like, okay. Ibrahim a.s. goes, who comes back home? Ismail. Anybody came over? Like, yeah, some old man came over, asked me about you. I told him you're working. Asked me about how his life. I told him it's horrible. I told him the truth. You barely make a living. We're struggling. But then he told me something weird. He told me to tell you, change the doorstep. I was like, oh, that's my dad. Ibrahim a.s. No, not if your dad comes to you today, tells you to change the doorstep. No, relax, fathers, right? But I'm talking Ibrahim a.s. He said, that's my dad, and he's telling me and advising me to let go of you and divorce you. What was the thing that Ibrahim a.s. judged the success of the marriage? Did he ask her about salah? Did he ask her? Did he ask her if she's a Muslim? Maybe she's Christian. Yes? Maybe she's Jewish. Did he ask her, did you fast? Did you wear the hijab? What's the one thing that he made the final decision on? One thing only. What was it? Yeah, truthfulness, and specifically, yeah, she was very ungrateful. It's not worth it. It's a very difficult life. Living with a spouse that is not grateful is a very difficult life. Extremely difficult, to the extent that Ibrahim a.s. told his son, I'll tell you, break it off now. It's too difficult. She can pray Qiyamul Layl, she can do all that stuff. It's difficult. Right? Same thing when the wife has a husband so ungrateful. Every time you come into the house, brother, what do? Why you smell like that? I was cooking your food. Why are the kids yelling? I'm trying to control them since the morning. And now you do 8-hour shift, I do 16-hour shift, yes or no? Non-negotiable. Most families, the mother works way more than the father, yes or no, brothers? Our mothers work more than our fathers, yes or no? Our father retires, my mother never retired. Yes or no? Mother works day and night. So show gratitude to that. How ungrateful are we when we see what she's going through and we just criticize? How come you never dressed up for me? How come the people outside, they look good and look at your face? A'udhu billah, very harsh words, right? Wallahi, one time I was saying this, a mother came, older lady. She said, brother, I'll tell you something. Wallahi, I don't want my husband to say thank you. Wallahi, I don't want my husband to say Jazakallahu khair. Allah, I don't want to. What do you want to? I just want him to respect me, not criticize me. It's just so sad that that's her goal now. That's her goal. It's for a husband to walk in, not speak bad about her. The way she looks, the way she smells, the way she walks, the way she talks, the way she thinks. Just have rahmah on me, subhanallah. May Allah have rahmah on our spouses. Say ameen. So you hear all these things. Then Ibrahim alayhi salam comes after some time to the house in Mecca, knock on the door, opens up. Is it the same sister? No, another sister. Is Ismail there? She said, no, he's not. He's at work. He asked her, how is everything? Same lifestyle. Are you guys with me? Same. He's not a millionaire now. He's still the same lifestyle. He said, how is everything? She said, بِخَيْرٍ وَسَعَةٍ. Oh, we're so blessed. Allahu Akbar. She told him, we're so blessed. We have the best of food, great husband, great life. Alhamdulillah, can't complain. He told her, listen, when your husband comes back, tell him to keep that doorstep. Tell him to keep that doorstep. She's like, okay. Then he left. Ismail alayhi salam came back from work. Who came over? Some old, respected man came over, asked me, where were you at? I told him you're at work. He said, how is things? I told him everything is great. We're so blessed, can't complain. Alhamdulillah. And he told me something strange. He told me to tell you to keep the doorstep. He's like, yes, that's my dad, Ibrahim. I'm like, oh, Rasulullah, yes. And he told me to keep you as my wife. Allahu Akbar. So that is something for those singles ones here. You want to get married, focus on the gratitude. Ask this question. So do you look forward to moving out of the family's house and living with your spouse? Oh, I can't wait. Oh, ungrateful. Ungrateful. Yeah, I can't wait to leave. I can't wait to leave my parents. Oh my God. Such an ungrateful person. 21 years living with your parents. 21 years. I can't, subhanallah. Right? And that's what I do. When I go to an MSA, I say, so how is everything? I just want to know who's my crowd. Like, school sucks. Tuition is very high. Corrupted system. I know all three are true, but there's also, you're blessed that you're being educated, yes or no? You're blessed you have money to pay for your tuition, yes or no? Yes, sir. You're blessed to have a ride, because we know people that have no education, yes or no? So the first thing that comes from your wife, from your mouth, is ungratitude, is a very bad sign. May Allah protect us. Just something to keep in mind. Fair enough? And to end about the husband-wife matter here, about all that is all what I said was internal, not even verbal. Because verbal, physical is very short. You do it afterwards, inshallah. I said what I said one time about think of what your spouse did to you, all that stuff. And wallahi, there was a brother crying in the halaqah, crying, his older brother. I noticed him crying, then I'm like, okay. After the lecture, he came to me. I had a lecture Friday night, all Saturday, only about gratitude, nothing else. Friday night, I saw him crying, then he left. He came in the morning, Saturday morning. He saw me. He said, I want to talk to you. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He said, I want to tell you something. I came to your talk yesterday and I want to apologize. Why you want to apologize, brother? Because I was crying so much, I hope it was not distracting you. I'm like, I noticed you crying, but I was fine. I wasn't distracted. He's like, I want to tell you why, though. Sure, why? He said, because yesterday when I was sitting in this lecture, I didn't really know about you. I'll be honest, brother. I didn't know about the halaqah. I was just walking by the masjid. People were gathering. Let's see what this guy's talking about. So I came and sat. Maybe some of you are like that right now. Allahu Alam. Then you start saying, think of what your wife did to you. Think of the good your wife did to you. Think of what your husband did to you. Then I'm start thinking, and brother, I want to tell you something. What? I'm about to finalize my divorce papers, actually. I'm about to finish my divorce papers. Divorce my wife. For the past 3 months, that's what he says, I did not sleep in the same room as my wife. For 3 months, we never speak, ever. And if we do speak, because of a child, go drop him off or something, we always end up in a fight. But when I came to the halaqah last night about shukr and gratitude and things like that, I realized I'm a loser. Allahu Akbar. It's because I was never grateful to my wife. Then he said, I did the technique you gave us. So I did the activity myself. I'm talking the guys in 50s, 60s, Allahu A'lam. So I said, okay. And then he said, I start thinking, I have 3 kids. My wife drops them off to school, picks them up from school every single day. Just out of curiosity, any father here has their wife do that? Drop kids to school? Jazakumullah khair, right? Does it every single day. He said, Wallahi, ya brother, not once I remember to tell her, thank you for the drop-off. Married for almost 10 years. He's like, I just never, as the brother said, she got used to it. You took it for granted, yes or no? Cold weather, she drops off. Cold weather, she picks up. He said, not just that, brother. I also have my 3 kids enrolled in karate class. So she does also the pickup and the drop-off. And you know very well, if you have a child who's in a car seat, it's a mess, right? You put the first one in the car seat, you tie them up, and you make dua. The other 2 in the house don't ruin the house. They can do it in 2 minutes, yes or no? Just destroy the house. So you go and you run, and you come back, open the door, all that stuff. He's like, I felt like a loser. Wallahi, not once I said thank you to her. All the delivery, breastfeeding, cooking, cleaning. And he was crying. He's telling me he's crying. He's like, brother, I want to tell you something. You know what I did last night after the halaqah? I'm like, khair. He's like, I went back home. And I went and spoke to my wife. She was shocked. Like, what do you want? He said, I just want to tell you something. She said, what do you want? I want to tell you I'm sorry. What? He said, I want to tell you I'm sorry because he said I'm a jerk. I'm a loser. That I didn't say thank you for the drop-off and the pickups, for the karate class, for teaching the kids, for doing them the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, for washing the clothes. I just want to tell you I'm sorry because I'm a loser. I'm so sorry. He said, I start crying. Then he said, when I was saying that, she started to cry. And then she said, and I'm sorry too. And I'm sorry I never, wallahi, this true. I wrote an article, it's online. This story changed my life. Wallahi, it did. And she said, I am sorry that I did not thank you for all the work that you've done to us, the overtime that you work and the traveling that you do, the struggles that you go through, the crying of the baby that wakes you up, yet you still wake up at 7, you still make it to work, the vacation days that you only took it just to take care of the kids. Thank you so much. Do you know what the brother says? Wallahi, ya brother, this was the most blessed night in our marriage. Next morning we woke up. She was all taken care of, looking very good, mashallah, tabarakallah. And she did breakfast, and for the first time in years, Allah knows best when exactly, we have breakfast as a family. Allahu Akbar. And I want to tell you something. We torn, no more divorce papers, gone. We canceled divorce, we're not divorcing no more. And brother, yes, I told my wife and 3 kids to come to your talk. They're coming at lunchtime, inshallah, after dhuhr. It's amazing. Shukr. He thought, it's divorce, wallah, she is not worth it. Wallah, he is not worth it. Try gratitude. Just try it. Try it. Give it a shot. Think of the good he does to you. Think of the good she does to you. Just do that for 1 to 3 days. Practice. Don't always be negative. I say as a married man, you tell me which woman in the world will never cause problems in marriage. Tell me who she is so I can marry her. Tell me which man in the world will never cause problems so we can tell all the sisters that this is the right man to look for. There's no one like that, yes or no? There is no marriage in the world that has no problems, not one. If your Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fought with his wife, yes or no? They got into arguments, yes or no? For God's sake, your Nabi, you know how bad was an argument? You know how bad? He left the house. People never went that far. Like, did you ever sleep outside the house or move out of the house? He moved out of his house for some time, yes or no? Never talked to them. So if your Nabi went through that, what makes you think you will not go through that? You will go through that. It will happen. It's just normal. You got the young generation single, like you see mom and dad arguing, like, I'll never get married. Oh my God. No, if you get married, it will happen. I'm telling you from now. Rasulullah went through that. You will go through it as well. But you just have to use gratitude just to survive in a short life. It's a very short life. You have to zoom out, see the life is very short. Akhirah is limitless. Obviously, I'm not talking about abusive relationship, right? This is a side matter about abuse that I'm not referring to. Are you guys with me? So don't come after the talk, what if it was abuse? Abuse is a different story. Physical abuse, verbal abuse is a different story. I'm talking about a normal relationship, has its ups and has its downs, yes or no? So this brother said, she's coming, and wallah, I remember lunchtime came, the mother came, 3 kids, mashallah. And she's like, I don't know what you did, brother, but jazakallahu khairan. I'm like, I didn't do anything, wallah. Qala Allah, qala Rasul. Allah said, the Prophet said. So may Allah make us genuine and sincere. Say Ameen. Last few minutes that we have, everything that I said was what? Internal, ahsan. Now verbal and physical. Ya Allah, a few minutes. Verbalize that thank you. Verbalize that love. You heard your hadith of Rasulullah, the hadith where he says, the Prophet was sitting, your Nabi Sallallahu next to him was a Sahabi, authentic hadith. The Sahabi tells the Prophet Sallallahu, Ya Rasulullah, you see this man? He's like, yes, inni uhibbu. I love him. Remember the hadith? The Prophet is being told by this man, I love this brother. What did the Prophet tell the brother? What did he tell him? He told him, did you tell him that you love him? What? Did you tell him that you love him? He said, no, I didn't tell him. He said, go فأخبره, اذهب فأخبره, tell him that you love him. So this brother stood up, walked to the other brother and told him, إني أحبك في الله. I love you for the sake of Allah. Then the other person replied, may Allah love you back. أحبك الذي أحببتني فيه. أو لا. What's the point of this hadith? If the Prophet told a man to say that to a stranger, like not a relative or a brother, what in the world will we be told if it was about to our wives? If it was for our husbands? Yes or no? If the Prophet told the Sahabi to tell that to another brother in the street, then what about husband, wife? Yes, your culture may take it very awkward, but these cultural aspects, with all due respect, you don't have to follow. Other cultural aspect, you should follow your culture. I'm telling you, you should follow your culture, you should. But some culture matters, you don't follow. Do you agree with that statement? Some cultural things you should abide by. Not just that, forget me. Allah commands you to follow your culture, it's a command. But there's some aspects of culture that goes against your religion. For example, Allah says about divorce, أَسْكِنُهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ سَكَنْتُم مِّنْ وُجْدِكُمْ وَلَا تُضَارُونَ till the end of the ayah. About divorce, Allah says, when a man divorces his wife and she is pregnant, she delivers the baby, the ex-husband has to pay her for every time the ex-wife feeds what? The baby. Some of you are like, well, that's her job. She's the mother. That's what you think, that's your logic between you and yourself. Allah says you have to pay her for every time she what? Breastfeeds your child. Did the Quran tell you how much? $15 an hour? Does it say 25 dirhaman? 25 dirhams? No. What does it say? Ma'ruf. According to your culture and norms. So you see, the wages in New York, I don't know. I don't know the number. $30 every breastfeeding? I don't know. 50? Allahu A'lam. You go to Mali in Africa, they make about $5 a day. To them, maybe it's $1 every feeding. Are you with me? So what determines the pay is what? The culture. But some aspects of culture, it's haram for us to follow. So we cannot say, I'll be honest here. May Allah have rahman, my dad, he passed away, may Allah have mercy on him. But when I grew up, I never, ever saw, I recall my dad or my mom telling each other, I love you, I miss you, Habibi. I never saw that. But that's not how it's supposed to be. Taban, you do, I show affection to an extent, but you show that, we should show that gratitude, yes or no? Any issues with that? Any issues when your wife comes? Kiss her hand, why not? Why can we not start following the sunnah of Rasulullah and show love to our wives? Why not when you go home, show it to your son and your daughter that the first thing when you walk home, you go kiss your wife. How is everything? Allahu Akbar. Wallah, you want to teach your kids akhlaq? Just do that, yes or no? You tell your kids, respect me, respect your mom, but you're not showing respect to my mom, dad. Yes or no? It's very difficult, very difficult. We should show love to our children, we show love to our spouses. Say, I love you, say, I miss you, like, I'm not comfortable. So be it, don't be comfortable, but break the ice, make it a normal thing. It'll be very weird the first few times, very weird, I know. But isn't it true that your Habib, Mustafa Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he was asked in front of the whole ummah, Who is the most beloved to you? What did he say? Close. That was the second answer. But what was the first answer? He said Aisha. Oh. You say that in your culture, Allah, I don't know. Oh, come on, man up, right? What do you mean? Your wife is the number one? Man up, right? Be a man. Make her number 100. A'udhu billah, right? But this is your Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Here you go. You want to follow the sunnah? Follow the sunnah. What's the first thing your Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did when he walked home? Yalla, bismillah. What's the first thing he did? Authentic hadith. Aisha is the one who answers the question. First thing, walks into home. What does he do? What do some of us do? We take off the jacket, or he wears the lunch, right? And he throw the shoes, I don't know how, karate class, right? You know, and then, hey, son, pick it up, right? So what does the Prophet does the first time he comes home? Yalla, bismillah, give it a shot. Okay, saying salamu alaikum, okay, wonderful. But as an action, first thing, yalla, sunnah, go ahead. What is it? Take a shot. Take a guess. Brushes his teeth. What? The first thing he does when he goes home, or the first thing, or the last thing he does when he leaves home? No. First thing he does when he comes home, brush his teeth. Because it's communication. Can we follow the sunnah, inshallah, with that? You come back home, brush your teeth. Your wife is like, are you leaving again? You just came home. Like, no, I'm staying. Like, Allahu Akbar. Right? Husband comes back home. Make sure you brush your teeth. Sunnah of Rasulullah. This is my advice for you. Brothers and sisters, ready for this? In your car, have two items. Cologne and mint. Cologne and mint. Before you go home, couple sprays, a mint, and you walk in fresh, inshallah. And you all know very well when the cologne is sprayed fresh, you know that it was just sprayed, yes or no? It's strong, yes? And they will know that this was sprayed special for me, yes or no? So make them feel special. Yalla, one more. We talk about sunnah. You want sunnah? I want the haqq, brother. I want the truth. Okay, here's the truth for you. Who is the greatest scholar of Quran? After Rasulullah, the greatest scholar of Quran. Yalla, bismillah. Sisters, you answer that. The greatest Quran scholar of all time. Do you appreciate the title? That's a good title, yes? It's amazing. And you never ask anyone about Quran when this guy is in front of you, yes? May Allah be pleased with him. Who is that person? Who is it? Ibn Abbas, right? Abdullah ibn Abbas, Habr al-Ummah wa Turjuman al-Quran. The guy, radiallahu anh, this man, the greatest man of the Quran, right? After Rasulullah. Check this out. He was walking back home. Before he arrived home, he got like a mirror or something and a comb. And he was combing his hair. Who is that again? The greatest mufassir of Quran. So he knows the Quran. Some people saw him, Ya Ibn al-Abbas, what in the world are you doing? You're going back home. He said, yes, and that's why I'm doing, because I'm going back home. He's like, but why are you doing that? He said, would I not want my wife to look good for me? Yes. And I too should look good for her when I go back home. Allahu Akbar. This is the alim of the Quran. Are you guys with me? That is why, like, look at back in the day, the divorce rate. Because look at the Sahaba and the Sahabiyat. Look at the men and the women. The woman would have her husband go for jihad for 3-4 months, yes or no? She knows I got a man doing what he has to do. Allahu Akbar, yes or no? She was patient, she was grateful, yes or no? And Umar al-Khattab, he put the limit of 4 months maximum. Subhanallah. You have things of that sort, not complaining and things of that sort, being very grateful. You have, for example, here we go, sister, this one for you. We have only 2 minutes left. One of the sisters, I'm trying to remember her name. It's not Salama. Maybe Talha. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Anyhow, so the sister, her husband travels and she has a child from this man. While the husband was traveling, what happens to the child? Dies. He dies. She gets nervous, calms herself down. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Look at the iman. She tells the people around, the neighbors and the family, don't tell my husband the child died, I will tell him. So don't go ahead of me. Make sense? I will tell him. Husband comes back home. The hadith says she was all fixed, looking beautiful, looking gorgeous for her husband. Cooked a beautiful meal. Came, had a blessed meal. Came, had a blessed night. After everything is done, and you guys know what I'm referring to, she told her husband something. If my neighbor gave me a pan, cooking pan, and my neighbor requested it back and took it back, is there anything wrong with that? The husband said, no, that's her right. She owns it. She gave it to you, and to it belongs. She said, then seek Allah's reward and be patient. Allah took back our son. The husband got angry. You made me eat. You made me do what I did. And now you're telling me my son is dead? And he went to the Prophet and complained. Ya Rasulullah, look at my wife, what she did. She came, we had food, we had this and that, we enjoyed the night, etc. Then she tells me my son died. The Prophet ﷺ appreciated the greatness of the wife. And this is a role model for all of us, men and women. He said, may Allah bless your night. And the narration says, Allah blessed them with 10 children, all of them people of the Quran. Allahu Akbar. So this is an example of understanding, of gratitude and so on. So you do it internally, you do it verbally, and then you put it into action. Okay, you put it into what? Action. You be creative. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You want to be a guy that puts red roses. Okay, you want to put candles, Nutella, Musa'ada Ferrero. You want to buy a new dishwasher. I don't know, okay? You can make her life easy. She does the cream cheese, the bagels for your kids with, you know, the cream cheese, like the brick. You pay $1 extra. You get the Philadelphia cream cheese that is a spread. You know the difference? The sisters know, you don't know. May Allah forgive us, right? The cream cheese, you have one that is a brick, cheaper. You have to like cut it, then wrap it, then like put it in a Ziploc bag, and then like put it in the fridge and make dua. It doesn't get corrupted or ruined, right? $1 more, you get cream cheese that already is what? Already spread. That's what you can help out, yalla help out. Whatever you can do, just do physical gratitude. You can't cook, take her to dinner. You cannot, for example, go to work, do something creative, do something, show gratitude. May Allah have rahmah on us. May Allah make us grateful. May Allah bless you. Jazakum Allahu khaira. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Takbir! 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 All right, Jazakumullah, inshallah, we'll start the salah. So if the sisters can head on upstairs, so we can move the divider. Jazakumullah.